Y'all, Wizard101's next update is right around the corner, and today we need to talk about their newest feature to farm spellements. Now, we're not talking about spellements for no reason. The big theme of the upcoming update is that they're updating rank 7 to 10 spells with spellement paths. And some of these, y'all, they're no joke. Like, the 10 pip spells give you tons of pips for doing stuff. The AoEs use a new mechanic where there's like a slight damage drop-off as you selectively target people, so you could target up to 4 people, but you don't have to. And even if you want to play the game in its simplest form, it's always nice to get spellements because the top paths give you more damage to work with. So the big question on a lot of people's mind is probably, where do I get these spellements? How do I farm them? Now, what's in front of me seems to be Wizard101's solution to what has been a pretty big issue with the way spellements are farmed right now in Live Realm. So for some context, because it's very important, the last time they did a big spellment overhaul like this, it affected rank 1 through 6 spellements. And what people realized very quickly is, in order to farm these spellements, you have to be at the level that's appropriate for the boss that these drop from. Meaning, right, like, for example, let's say that I wanted rank 5 spellements, right? I wanted my Stormzilla spell. And let's say that I was, like, a max level, right? Not at the level that you would be naturally farming Stormzilla spellements. I'd have no way of farming them by fighting a boss, right? If I was at a level like level 40 and I was in Mushu, then I could farm it, but high levels didn't have a way to farm it. I guess this is because it would be too easy and it would affect the value of the spellment. I don't really know. It was very annoying though. But now, let's say that I wanted to farm as a max level for basically lower level spellements. All I'd have to do is click on the scales of knowledge and click on this apply level scaling thing. And then I get this elixir placed on me that scales my level down to the level appropriate for the instance that I'm in. So previously, if I were to fight the Jade Oni, I would never be able to get spellements, you know, that drop in Mushu as a max level. But now, by clicking on the scales of knowledge, I can do that. So now everybody can farm their spellements. However, it is going to clearly be more challenging. My health isn't the only thing that's getting scaled down so that I can appropriately farm these spellements. My damage that used to be over 200 has been scaled down to 75, which is, I guess, the stat cap at level 40. My accuracy was max, now it's 16%. That's kind of a big one. You could be fizzling while farming the Jade Oni, for example. Now, on the bright side, Arc 2 spellements are going to drop from much higher level bosses, so the impact of the stat scaling will be way lesser. The spell restrictions way lesser. But it is worth noting, yes, this is a new method to farm spellements, but it does look like it is going to pose a challenge, so it might not speed up the overall process that much. You might be thinking you could just probably cheese this by, you know, packing something like, I don't know, Shad. But what you'll notice is a lot of Shad spells have this little number next to them. It's like a red, you know, square with like a yellow text on it. Now, that's something that was introduced, I want to say a while ago, because some spells were too good in PvP, but they're also using this as a way to prevent you from using extremely powerful cards in the combat that I guess you're supposed to level appropriately farm your spellements. So because this specific instance scales my level down to level 40, if there's anything in my spell book with the number above 40, it won't show up in combat. So this is my deck right now, right? Most of my hits are way above the level that a level 40, I guess, would use, other than I want to say like Catalan and a few others. So you'll notice, even though I went in with the 64 card deck, I can only use these specific cards in order to fight the Jade Oni, meaning this is much more challenging to farm. Now, not only are these like scales of knowledge things, are they not only being updated for, you know, Arc 1 worlds, they're also being applied on the Arc 2 worlds, which is relevant because these are completely new spellements. Now, is this a W change? Here's the deal, right? If you were a high level, this is just a feature that's available to you that wasn't available before. But it's not like farming spellements has become any easier doing this. It's just given everybody an equal ground to do it. Previously, the best way to get, for example, like Arc 1 spellements was you had to get a low level to farm the spellements on and get someone that was high level to carry you through the fights, and the high level would never get any drops and the low level would get them at, I guess, an expedited rate. That's pretty goofy, especially if you don't have 2 accounts, so you have to make someone else not get any drops for you. That's like pretty goofy. So it's good that now there's a feature where anybody can farm for any spellements that they want. Now, if you look at the update notes, you'll notice that, like, you know, there's basically just one place to farm this if you're like a super high level, you know, per world. And to me, one big red flag is if there's only one boss, then there's probably no way to control the school of the drops that you get. Meaning, right, if I like want, like, you know, my Arc 2 spellements and I farm the Shadow Palace, there's no way to actually, you know, control whether I get elemental spellements spellements, spirit spellements, balance spellements. That's something you can currently do in Arc 1. So I'm wondering if that's intentional or not, but while there is more control in terms of what level you have to be to farm, it doesn't seem like there's as much control as to what school you're getting the drop for. That might mean that previous ways that high levels would, get spellements, which, included like elemental retriever and spirit retriever, these pet talents. If y'all don't know how retriever talents work, while yes, you do get like some sort of control over the school that these drops affect, it's pretty tedious. You basically have to get this talent to manifest on a pet. You have to unlock it using tokens that are relatively rare. And then, depending on the world you go to, you can basically open up wooden chests for various spellements, and they're based on the school that the talent is. So, elemental retriever gets you fire, ice, and storm spellements. These might still be the best way to get school-specific spellements, even as a high level. So even with this update, there's still reasons why, maybe previous methods you use, they might still be viable. And I guess it's a good thing that, things like this aren't just not viable anymore, but I still feel like if this is still the best option for getting school-specific spellements, it's just a little too tedious. I still wish they had more bosses, so maybe like storms and fires and ices can farm one boss more for a higher drop rate. On the flip side, while Arc 2 spells were not cross-trainable before, with the Spellman update, according to the update notes, they are gonna be. So that means, like, for example, on my Storm, if I'm farming like a bunch of Arc 2 spellments to get Storm spells, I'm also gonna be getting all the other school spells, and I might want to use things like, Fire King Art. So the fact at least that they're cross-trainable means that, even if you don't get school-specific drops, you might still be getting drops that you end up using. All in all, y'all, it's probably a net W. This is just a new thing that high levels can do. I will say this, I do find it a little odd that we've waited this long for this change, because honestly, for the past 2.5 years, it just seems like if something is too easy to farm, it's basically just not farmable. So I hope whatever they've done in terms of making spellements available at the high levels, I hope this is applied like across the board if we ever get to a point where there are other drops that are deemed too easy to farm. Because it's been pretty frustrating using stuff like this, because I happen to have an account with a lot of max levels. I feel like it's almost like you're not incentivized to have max levels. So hopefully, while this is great, I hope this is the last we ever see of like level specific drops screwing over high levels. Let me know what you guys think of this update. A lot of y'all were asking me how these are going to be farmed. The good news is it's farmable for everybody. The maybe iffy news is it might still be very, very challenging compared to the past. What do y'all think of the Scales of Knowledge update? I look forward to hearing all of y'all's opinions. Drop a like if you enjoyed, leave a sub if you're new, and if somebody hasn't told you you're awesome today, they doing something wrong. Stay awesome. See y'all soon, and yeah.